The first one is chicken, egg, and tofu miso soup. This is a soup that provides 3 types of protein. I want to add Chinese chive and ginger. The ginger goes well with the soup if it's cut very thinly and shredded like this. You can use any kind of tofu and adjust the amount to your liking. We want to keep the calories down for the chicken, so we will again use chicken tenders. Remove tendon from the chicken and cut them into small pieces. Oil the pan and cook the chicken first. When it's cooked slightly, add sake, soy sauce, and shredded ginger. Stir fry here to lightly season the chicken. The sake and ginger will also remove the smell of the meat. When the surface of the chicken changes color, add water for 2%. If there is no dashi in the miso, add about half teaspoon of dashi powder here. Bring to a boil. If any scum appears, remove it. Add tofu and bean sprout. Simmer for about 3 minutes to cook the bean sprouts. Chinese chives are cooked in an instant, so you can add them at the end. Bring to a boil again and add beaten egg. I use 1 egg here. Stir well and simmer for about 1 minute to cook the egg. Turn off the heat and add miso paste. The miso I use already contains dashi, so I do not add dashi powder. Both miso without dashi and with dashi are introduced in the description section. Please check the link named My Tools and Seasonings. When the miso has dissolved thoroughly, stir again. I recommended putting a little rye on this miso soup because it goes really well with it. I put a lot of it on and made it spicy. Next one is shrimp and tofu gyoza miso soup. Here I'll introduce you to a simple gyoza that is healthy yet full of umami and great taste. First, drain the tofu. Wrap the tofu in paper towel and place a weight on top like this. Leave it like this for 10 to 15 minutes. I'd add onions to the gyoza to add a nice texture. Finally, chop the onion. Since frozen shrimp are used, stir and pat dry well. Chop this also so that it retains a little texture. Wipe the onions dry and sprinkle a small amount of potato starch on them. This way the contents of the gyoza will not be soggy. Mix well and add minced shrimp. Squeeze the water out of the tofu with your hands at the end before adding it to the bowl. Add a little more potato starch to help bind the gyoza filling together. The seasonings will be chicken stock powder. This is shantan, soy sauce, and sesame oil. Mix thoroughly, mashing the tofu. It'll be delicious with a little ginger or garlic if desired. Wrap the filling in the gyoza wrappers. Put water on the edge of the wrapper like this. You can bind the gyoza any way you like. These gyoza wrappers were left over from a previous batch of gyoza made with pork. I froze the gyoza wrappers and stirred them naturally before use, and they worked great. This is a type of Japanese sauce called sudachi. It doesn't have as strong an aroma as a lime, but it has a slight tangerine-like flavor. You could make a simple miso soup with just gyoza, but today we will add 2 ingredients: shredded onion and sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes make miso soup creamy and very tasty. Cook these 2 first. Add water for 2%. Bring to a boil. It's best not to overcook the sweet potatoes beforehand, as they will cook for about 5 minutes after the gyoza are added. Cover and simmer until the gyoza are cooked through. Turn off the heat and dissolve miso. We have chosen to combine sweet potatoes and onions, but you can use any vegetable you like. 1 cup of this makes a very satisfying, nutritionally balanced meal. It's refreshing and great to transfer the sudachi flavor to the sweet potato. Next one is egg and tofu miso soup. This is an excellent miso soup that is very simple and can be made in an instant, even when you are busy. My husband loves egg miso soup, so I often make it. I always add onions and carrots at the time. These are a perfect match for eggs. Today I had some leftover Chinese cabbage, so I added some. I also cut up some tofu today because I want to make it high protein. Add water as usual. Simmer a little to soften the vegetables. When the vegetables are tender, add the tofu. Bring to a boil again. Then crack the eggs directly into the pan. Make room to break the egg. This time it was difficult to make room for the eggs because there is so much tofu in the soup. Cook over low heat for 3 minutes. Cook until eggs reach desired consistency. Turn off the heat and dissolve miso. The biggest point here is to mix the soup so as not to crush the egg yolk. Carefully stir to spread the dissolved miso throughout. My husband still said this was his favorite of the 6 recipes. Next one is beef and bean miso soup. We make a delicious miso soup with the same ingredients as if we were making chili soup. First, minced onion and carrot. Please add vegetables that you would put in your chili soup. You don't have to add tomatoes, but add them as an accent at the end. Cut this into small pieces as well. Fry onions and carrots in a small amount of oil. When somewhat tender, add the meat. Use ground beef. I put grated garlic and sake. Sprinkle lightly with salt and pepper. This is optional, but I add a little curry powder. Add just a few of your favorite spices. If too much is added, it will interfere with the miso, so we recommend about half teaspoon for 2 servings. After the meat is seasoned, add the beans. This is a mix of 5 different beans, including chickpeas and red beans. Add 2 bowls of water. The beans I used were already boiled, so I could have added them more toward the end. Simmer a little to soften the vegetables. If any scum appears, remove it. Turn off the heat and dissolve miso. It's a really yummy miso soup with a slight flavor of curry powder and a great taste of meat. Please try to make it with materials you have at home. Next one is shrimp and fried tofu miso soup. This time use thick fried tofu instead of regular tofu. In fact, thick fried tofu contains about twice as much protein as tofu. Thick fried tofu is made by removing the water content from tofu, which is why the components of tofu are concentrated in them. It has a few more calories than tofu, but as long as you don't overeat it, it's not a problem. And most importantly, it tastes great. In the end, I used only this cut quantity for the soup. I had a little bit of Chinese cabbage left over, so I added it this time as well. Put a little oil in the pan. The shrimp, the main ingredient of the dish, will be cooked. Wipe off water thoroughly before putting in. Add a little sake to remove the smell. Please substitute with white wine. Sprinkle lightly with salt and pepper. When the surface of the shrimp is cooked, add the chopped vegetables and thick fried tofu. Add 2 bowls of water. The thick fried tofu only needs to be warmed up. So cook for about 3 minutes, and if the shrimp are cooked, it's okay. Turn off the heat and dissolve miso. The shrimp broth is the best and matches the miso. It reminds me of the luxurious miso soup served in restaurants with large prawns in their shells. It's a great and easy recipe that tastes as good as it does in the restaurant, so I hope you'll give it a try. Top with minced green onion to taste. The last one is chicken and tofu meatball miso soup. This miso soup contains healthy meatballs made with tofu. They are super convenient and tasty meatballs that can be rearranged for other dishes, so please make them. This time I bought bamboo shoots, so I cut them into small pieces and put them in. These are softer than lotus root, but they have a crunchy texture that makes them great in meatballs. By the way, this is a boiled bamboo shoot. If you do not have bamboo shoot, you can substitute vegetables such as carrot or onions. Drain tofu as usual. I used daikon radish that my mom sent me. Daikon and carrots are used as ingredients for the soup, but if not, add other vegetables. It's also tasty with leafy greens. Once both are shredded, they are placed in a pot with water and simmer. Simmer for a while and turn off the heat while you make the meatballs. Squeeze the water out of the tofu tightly with your hands, but do this gently enough so that the tofu does not fall apart. Add ground chicken. Sprinkle lightly with salt and pepper. Add a pinch of sugar, soy sauce. Chicken stock powder is also delicious, but this time I'll add oyster sauce. It's also great with a little miso. Stir well until sticky. When I make these Japanese-style meatballs with chicken and tofu, I often add potato starch, but this time I did not. I noticed that with this formulation, the dough sticks well and holds together nicely even without potato starch. I have extra green onions, so I will use them. Add a bamboo shoot that have just been cut. The key is to knead the meat before adding these. I do this because these diced vegetables and other ingredients get in the way of stirring the meat and tofu until it's sticky. Bring the water with the vegetable to a boil again and add the meatballs. Scoop it with a spoon and drop it into the pot like this. I was reminded around here that the meatballs in the soup I made for breakfast the other day had ginger and garlic in them, and that was very tasty. Next time I would like to make them with them again. Cover and cook over low heat for 5 minutes. When meatballs are cooked, turn off the heat, then dissolve miso. If you have extra meatball dough, you can refrigerate or freeze it for later use. It's also very tasty when cooked in a pan with a small amount of oil, and then tossed with teriyaki sauce or other sauce. It can be added to other soups, spaghetti, and so on. Which of the 6 miso soups did you like? You can use any kind of miso paste and any ingredients you like, so I encourage everyone to try making miso soup. Thank you so much for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel. If you are already a subscriber and would like to support our channel, please join our membership. Membership feedback will be reflected in content creation. See you in the next video.